Okay, so part B, it helps actually to sketch the graph. So we know where the turning points are. We know the maximum is x 1/6, and of course y was, I think it was, let's go back there, minus 307 over 108, which works out to be that decimal there. So that's the maximum, and then of course the minimum was 1 minus 4. So it really does help to sketch it when it comes to part B. So if we look at what we've got to solve here, so it says to solve this, right? It's 12x cubed for the first one, minus 21x squared plus 6x minus 12 equals 0. Now what we want to do is we need to try and change this, okay, so we can get back to this curve, okay? And if you notice here, this actually is, or most of it, or maybe all of it, I don't know, is a multiple of this, yeah? So if we divide this by 3, let's divide each term by 3, we'll get 4x cubed, okay? We divide this by 3, we'll get 7x squared. Divide this by 3, we get 2x. And then divide this by 3, you get minus 4 equals 0. And if you notice, right, it's obviously very similar to the curve, okay, but not quite at the end here, right? But what we want to try and do, as I said, is to get it exactly like that curve on this left-hand side. So obviously what I need to do here is add 1. Yeah, if I add 1 to this, it will change that to negative 3. So if I add 1, I will get 4x cubed minus 7x squared plus 2x minus 3. Because if I'm adding 1 here, I need to make sure I balance it and I add 1 that side as well. So essentially, I'm interested now in where this, and remember now this is the curve, is equal to 1, okay? So we want to solve this, remember, that was the question in I, we want to solve that, but if we adjust it to get it looking like our curve, dividing by 3 got us here, and all we needed to do then was add 1 to it, and then that gives us our curve. Of course, because we added 1, I need to add 1 on the other side. So now we're looking at, if I can solve where my curve is equal to 1, I can then work out how many roots there are for this actual equation. So where it's equal to 1, obviously will be in the positive area here. And if you notice then, I can draw a line, okay, across, and you can see then how many solutions there will be when the curve is equal to 1, okay. So you can see there's only one solution, so there's only going to be one root for part I, okay? So with part 2, if I just copy it down, we've got 4x cubed minus 7x squared plus 2x equals 0. So if we compare that to our curve, okay, so remember now that was the curve here, yeah? I mean, it's pretty much identical, but we don't have this minus 3 here. In fact, we don't have any value there. So what I'm going to have to do is take away 3 from this side. But remember then to balance, I've got to take away 3 from that side. So I'll then have the curve that I've got drawn, which is my function of x. But of course then on the right-hand side, it will be equal to minus 3. So I'm looking now where my curve is equal to minus 3. And if you look then at the curve here, where minus 3, well, minus 3 is literally going to go just underneath here, yeah, roughly. So if I draw a line across where y is equal to minus 3, I could see then that there are 3 points of intersection. So there are going to be 1, 2, 3 real roots, okay? And we have our answer.